Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African Time. This is BTV News. We are broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Gaborone. I'm Mulibile Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. President Advocate Maboko launches 4 additional languages for broadcast on BTV and Radio Botswana. Botswana remain hopeful as they celebrate independence.
And in sports, the 2025 Champions Cup tournament, a raving success.
And that is Jose Honkwe joining us later on our sport desk. Amantle Babili is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. And on our first story, today the nation witnessed a mega milestone as President Advocate Maboko officially launched the 4 indigenous languages on the national television. Speaking during the launch, President Maboko said this to be a testament of the country's commitment to the people's democratic right and gives a voice to unique identity of Botswana as a whole. The launch took place this morning in Gaborone. Compiled this one.
The long-awaited day finally arrived for the launch of indigenous languages on the national television and radio to allow for linguistic diversity and augmentation of the usual Setswana and English bulletins. Shekalahari, Shiei, Ikalanga and Naru languages are officially on BTV News and Radio Botswana effective today. This new development is said to be a milestone by the country because it will foster national unity and speak to the people's social justice for them to hear and express themselves in their own mother tongue.
Rehano gompieno ile dikgato tsa ntlha tsa tshimolodiso ya temogo le tlotlomatso ya diteme le dingwao tse di mo lehatsheng la rona. Ba ba buang ba re ba utlwile kganye e buega ko phuthegong ya kgotla ko Mahalape. Kganye ga e simologe ho e tswa kgakala. E tswa kgakala ka gore se le ntshwanelo ga se diragadiwe kana ga se botlhokwa ka gore se builwe ke mongwe motho. Go sa kgathalesege gore ke wa maemo a ntseng jang. Se botlhokwa ka gore se tshwanetse se nne jalo. Se ba eteledipele ba ka se dirang ke go se lemoga gongwe le go se diragatsa.
Our commitment to language inclusion is an investment in democracy. Language is the foundation of comprehension, and comprehension is the foundation of citizenship. When citizens understand the news of their country in the language closest to their hearts, they participate more actively, more confidently, and more meaningfully in the life of the Republic.
The hope is for both national television and radio to gradually engage more indigenous languages for more inclusivity and access. President Maboko says he hopes that one day these indigenous languages will also be taught in schools across Botswana, ensuring that the country's rich linguistic heritage is preserved for future generations. Keletleletswe Somolekai, BTV News, Gaborone.
The long-awaited day finally arrived for the launch of indigenous languages on national television and radio to allow for linguistic diversity and augmentation of the usual Setswana and English bulletin. Shekalahari, Shiei, Ikalanga and Naru languages are officially on BTV News and Radio Botswana effective today. This new development is said to be a milestone by the country because it will foster nation unity and speak to the people's social justice for them to hear and express themselves in their own mother tongue.
Di mile pano di milile chaba chebu kalanga. Kanyi di dokuma poka kubunanzwa bejuva gwe Botswana northeast. Di milile pano kuboka iembili mangenje nembuso we muna chaba etale ruala nasi. Bakanyi kwetu todo akule. Tili zichaba zose zipapa tigwila ndimi zetu.
Ya ukiona hombe heda khuzari khang le chona. Hebe henna morahi ona le kitso and informed citizens. Ruri bakhalagari ba go leboga go ke o ke ona
ganene bo ana tsae go se ikwane xae ne ha a xae a tsuiso sa kuruta nka ziko iziko go a ane a xaise gane e gabane tswi ngumndini khone sa se dum karko kaisa se qeng xa wa mame nceska ta ga bo ai khone ka sitai ga bagata gane ka gane eta
Watshapi Uldiha Boko Takuizami na nyina Atika yewe mamono shiye ya atika pushina Tama mono atika na kusinjenisa Mwana radio Botswana Vayeiva avenicho Vashikeke.
Different ethnic groups have welcomed the government's decision to broadcast news in 4 indigenous languages, noting that the move cements the element of inclusion and recognition of the country's indigenous languages, which has been a desire for many citizens. In an interview with BTV News Channel on the sidelines of the launch of the 4 languages on national television and Radio Botswana, the participants said this brings some sort of pride to many as it showcases the tribal diversity.
Apart from creation of the jobs as a result of the rollout of the programs, the mere effect that language is being spoken on national television, it brings a lot of pride to our people. As part of the nation.
jaanong gore le ba tshwana bikole le bona ba go phutshula ga le bona be bola mokeng ga bikole ba sha thora jaanong be bata go itsenya ka datse ga mashwaga le bazari ba tshole bona bogaya go bolhudutung go le bona go le bona ba go itumela tota bo mazaleng ba le gore ba ka tswa ba le bo sigirishiki ba le bo zutsha ba le bo khankwe tota ba go itumela gore o zurkising ha re khang re balwa ba da go be itumela be ze gore ba dile go reja gore go riagala shi mokeng ga re khang.
In this country we have over 25 different indigenous groups that are indigenous to this country, not from elsewhere. And they have not been recognized one way or the other, especially also in the constitution, but also with regard to the choice of languages that were used. So hono go sena tekatekano sentle. Ebile gape le ha go share information e share hela ka di languages tse dingwe tsa Setswana le Sekgowa go supa ga go supe tekatekano sentle. But now with this recognition ya di language go supa ya non tekatekano le yone ya tsena ya
di kgwethonyana tsone di tanna teng ka gore mafuko ga rena nawa a rileng gore puo tota e teng nunuhe go ba teng gore ke puo e le gore ya dirisiwa ka sekgwa mo re go bitsa re puo e ina le domains of use jaano ne ke lemoga ga re dira translation ha re rutuntsha ba ne re ba rutuntsha gore hey mafoko a tsama a pala mme e tare go ntse go tsweletse ke tsa gore go tanna teng sengwe le sengwe se na le ha se simololang teng and ha go simolwa di kgwetho di nna teng.
As the nation prepares for independence celebrations under the new government, Botswana are hopeful and anticipating good things. In Francistown, residents expressed their views with regards to this year's independence, saying they expect it to be more exciting. They say they have hope and trust that this independence will act like a springboard for government to speed up the developments they need in their lives. Terma Kwen reports.
Since Botswana gained independence in 1966, it has made great strides in developments. Francistown, being the second city, is one of those areas that has had vast developments in the recent years, which are witnessed by everyone who graces the city with their presence. However, there are some residents who believe they are on the sidelines, as they say the inequality gap between the rich and the poor has been widening in the past years. They label this upcoming independence as a special one, as it is the first in the new government and encompasses great expectations. They have hope and say that they have seen positive changes so far in this new government. We expect a lot from the new government when we hear of its promises. We expect jobs and changes in our lives. The opening of Tataki mine is a perfect example of changes that were promised. We have seen positive changes and expect more. On the business side, the small business owners indicated that this year the business has been slow compared to last year around this time. However, they have hope that the economy will improve and have reservations to what they believe could help improve their businesses. I wish we could be funded according to the business scale and the impact it has on the community. So far, this government is doing well, and I personally cannot complain. Residents applaud the current government for what they have done so far, which include, amongst others, increase of old pension and student allowance, indicating that it is a step in the right direction. Terima Khoeng, BTV News, Francistown.
Botswana and Gaborone and surrounding areas are gearing up for the independence celebration. The mayor of Gaborone City, also the area councillor of Gaborone South, Warabile Motlaleng, says even though the country currently faces financial challenges, contributions have been made to make the day as special as previous years. Motlaleng says Gaborone City Council has donated 10,000 pula to all the wards in Gaborone in celebration of the upcoming independence celebrations. The business community also helped residents of Gaborone with contributions of the independence celebrations. Residents of Gaborone and surrounding areas are advised to visit the wards in their areas to celebrate and be merry for tomorrow's independence.
Re dumetse thata ngwaga wa rona ku ngwaga wa 59 la tsela Botswana re ntse le mo boipuso mme gompieno jaaka lo itse re gone mo Botswana mme re kgantso mo la tsela Botswana ka go harologana mme ya di tebaganye le Gaborone ka gore gompieno re mo re kgalong tsa Gaborone mme motho ka tlhalosa gore re le Gaborone City Council re kgonne go distribute go neela dikgaolo tsotlhe ka bo tsotlhe mekirialo tsa Gaborone mari ya kana ka 10,000 pula mme ya go dimga mong re be re nna le gone gore ya ka bona pakete nyana engonyana ke ele gore ne tswa go office of the president ye le gore email one of the donations tse le di diragala go oketsa 10,000 gore mo neetseng dikgaolo tsotlhe seemo se ga se diragale old na le di north hela se diragala dikgaolo tsotlhe tse di mo Gaborone
so go na le ba go mo go tshane but mme re thuse ke ba go bibale bararo be re tlatsa mo le mmene mo re nang le lone ba go bibao ke ba KSK le ba Standard Hardware go na le Prophet Isaiah le ene o sentse ra romela madi ke bona batho ba re thusitseng e be re kopanya le sene puso e re senela
ka moso ke itumela gore ke be ke bone boipuso bo ba 59 ke boipuso ke ha ke bolo ja boipuso ke boja ne ke le tlhaga ke le mosadi o thata ano thata ka tlhaga ka hedile.
On the eve of the country's 59th celebration, few residents of Palape gathered at their main khotla to prepare for this year's celebrations. Khosima Thalebang has urged the residents to make use of these holidays and make an impact in their communities. She says residents should ensure that they help those who are less fortunate. Gabriel Mberiki.
Residents of Palape came together in the spirit of self-reliance to prepare for this year's independence celebrations, contributing a few items to make the festivities enjoyable. With the celebration in full swing, Khosima Thalebang encouraged residents and those traveling to different destinations to ensure they arrive safely. The independence holidays have for many years been used as a time for partying and celebrating. But I suggest that as a community, we could change this and make a positive impact in our area. We can clean the cemetery and help uplift our community. Public transport operators say the low number of commuters this year has affected their businesses. They also expressed frustration over reckless drivers who have no consideration for other road users. Currently, we have a large number of our customers who prefer overnight buses. This is different from last year. What we have also noticed on our roads is that small vehicle drivers are impatient. They drive recklessly, and this affects us as we are responsible for a lot of lives.
nya nna re kgwetsana sentle ke gore bone ke bone ba itlhakanyetseng makolo tse dinyenyane jaanong ora gore a ne ba tsena ka nene tsamaya ka koloi e tona.
Our driving is proper and legal. The problem is that they are in a hurry to get to their destination. They overtake and cut in front of us quickly, which causes our customers to complain, thinking we are not driving properly. The number of people we had this year is not what we expected, and this has affected our business. Members of the public are implored to ensure that they put safety above all and avoid drinking and driving so that they can return from these holidays safe and sound. Gabriel Meregi, PTV News, Palape.
You're still watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, residents of Lenzwele Muriti in Bubira district say they find themselves caught between the strict religious principles of the St. Engina Zion Christian Church and the law of Botswana. They have raised allegations of negligence on the side of the government and internal conflicts of the church spanning years from 1980s. Mamusi Siska with more.
The plight of Lenzwele village is stemmed on the decision made in good faith by the early members of the St. Engina Zion Christian Church in 1953, who settled on a private farm and established it as shrine worship. The letter states that on the 16th January 1952, the seller and buyers entered into an agreement. An amount of £4,265 was paid as a deposit towards the purchase of private land valued at £7,500. It further explains that Lenzwele Muriti is not under the ownership of a single individual, but exists as a mission village.
A sole owner, a mission village.
There are also records dating back to 1949 showing the processes that took place. According to the lease, the land was purchased to prevent residents from being evicted again by anyone. Unfortunately, the people of Lenzwele Muriti are now being disrespected by individuals who claim to be elders of a church that is said to have been deregistered. If proper church protocols had been followed, we would not be facing this situation. Today, the members say they are simply asking for basic necessities. We are restricted from using natural resources such as collecting firewood. Our pastors are interfering with VDC. They do not want the committee and claim that when elections come, they will ensure the committee is dissolved. What we are asking for is development. We need access to electricity, a tarred road, and renovation of our school. After numerous unsuccessful attempts to seek intervention, government has afforded them an opportunity to raise their concerns through the appointment of a task force. Our hope is that soon we will provide the office of the president with a response. However, we will continue with our investigations, and we kindly request your committee to make itself available whenever we need clarification on other issues. The villagers now place their hopes on the task force resolutions to find a balance between religious freedom and the obligation of the law. Mamusi Siska, BTV News, Lenzwele Muriti.
Residents of Bobirwa district have appealed to the Minister of Trade and Entrepreneurship, Tiroyao Nzima, to ensure that the traditional beer brewed from Mokolwani tree is included among licensed traditional beverages. They explained that this beer is a cultural trademark for their community, yet it is currently consumed unlawfully since it is not legally recognized. The concerns were raised during a Khotla meeting in Bobono, where Nzima was consulting with residents on the review of the Liquor Amendment Bill. Mamusi Siska with more.
The minister explained that under the current law, certain types of traditional beer are not allowed to be brewed at home and sold in marketplaces. Often villages or districts have traditional brews that are part of the local culture. Residents here have expressed concern that Mokolwane beer is not included among officially recognized traditional brews, despite being a cultural trademark for the community.
Le bujalwa ja morula bona le paka e leng gore a khona gore a ba le teng a mangwa a tshwana jone ja morula jo ba bo beile hala ka dikupu re bo phoza re ntse re tarozwazo ya no ne ke re le yone le telele ba le be gore a bo kanna ja
go go tsana mokolwane ka ra go bone ha morula ke a o bona le ha o sa bidwi morula mme ke a o bona gore a gore ji bo go tsana mokolwane ke majalo hala e leng gore a teng mo majalo ra ana gone a reng gore ha wa utwa bogale ja one a tsamela gone go sekoko mme a tswa go mahatsing a sele gore le bo London dry gin ya no le rona ka gone gone re ka tshela ha ile gore no ka dirwa bobira dry gin
kana gore a re gona le dithuto tse leng gore a di dira e be re sa ditse ka thwahalo mme be re di reka di tswa go mahatsing a mangwe go ngota re bo komele gore gongwe re na le product re ka e rekisang go mahatseng a sele le rona e bidiwang skoko e re etsang hela gore ka gore ke a Setswana re itirisetsa re le nosi mme le go mabarakeng a mangwe re ka isa teng.
Community members have also offered suggestions to ensure that the act works for both parties.
Simolla ka ya 500 meters go tswa go dikerekeng le dikwele le the highways. O ka re le di go bukile ha ne le highway hela go le bara gongwe di go di santsweng me ha nna bara le kereke le skwele le di lebe sente
ayo le monela license gongwe le ene a itamela thata go supa gore o ta laola jang se mo sone sa go nna jalo gore go ska ga thapologa gongwe le gongwe ha go go nne le ane le measures tse le ro ka di dira go heletsa phephatsa
The last amendment of the Liquor Act was in 2021 in response to challenges that emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mamusi Siska, BTV News, Bobonong.
Well, now in international news, in the U.S., authorities report that a shooter killed 4 people and wounded several others at a Mormon church in Michigan. The shooter is said to have rammed into the church with his vehicle before opening fire with an assault rifle, setting the building on fire. The attacker was killed by police 8 minutes after the first emergency call. The church was destroyed and 2 more bodies were recovered among the debris. 8 people were wounded, 1 in critical condition. The FBI is leading the investigations. President Donald Trump has described the shooting as horrendous and yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. Well, it is time for Sport News. Jose Ronkwe on standby.
Let me thank you, Samaka, and good evening. This is Hosankwe bringing to you the Botswana Tonight Sports News. And with that, let's get straight into the first story. Botswana Tennis Association organized a 4-day play and stay coaching course, which aimed to teach tennis coaches the fundamental of tennis and grassroots coaching. The course started on the 25th of this month and ended on Sunday at the Notwane Tennis Center. Victoria Dakan has more.
The course, which was conducted by Brighton Keteng and Wellington Sibanda, was a first certification and was attended by 24 participants, including new aspiring coaches, former players, and active coaches without formal coaching certification. 9 were female, while the rest were male. Coaches from various schools also attended.
We haven't had quite a good number of female attending courses like this, and also the good part also about this course particularly was that we had 9 teachers. The reason why I'm saying it's more interesting, or the best part about it, is having teachers that's where the kids are in schools. So that's where the numbers and the grassroots is. So if we equip teachers with their fundamentals to introduce players, new players, more especially younger kids, it's from schools where the numbers are.
The course covered both theory and practical sessions in which players were tested on their playing ability, group assessment and written tests. Coaches were trained on how to make tennis accessible, fun and awarding to upcoming players, especially at the grassroots level.
Our hope is that they go and teach or share the knowledge they've learned here, because they will help cover a lot of ground in terms of bringing kids into the sports, more especially teachers, because they have quite a good number of kids, and that's where all the kids are. And also it will help grow the sport, because the more we have numbers in grassroots, as the players grow older, they drop out. So if we bring in a good number of players, if they drop out, we'll be left with quite a good number of players, more especially female players we have.
Some of the participants noted that the course will help them in areas they have been lacking.
I think this is a stepping stone, and most of the coaches don't have the fundamentals and the grassroots coaching skills. So coaching clinics like this, I equip us as coaches to do better in our coaching skills, because remember, you do it right at the first step, which is the grassroots level. It continues right through. So I believe this is a great opportunity for us as coaches, and especially for the BTA to have seen it fit to extend the invite to even schools.
I'm hoping to help with in future with player development in Botswana. So not only tennis, hopefully one day all other sports in Botswana, but this is just a learning experience for me. It's really important for me to try and help Botswana develop athletes.
The course is expected to increase the number of qualified coaches within tennis clubs and schools. Another course is expected to be conducted on the 2nd of October in Francistown. Victoria Decken, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Moving on, the two-day Chairman's Cup 2005, organized by the Kwening Regional Football Association and now in its second year, has hailed as a huge success. The tournament, whose primary aim is nurturing grassroots talent and instilling a competitive spirit, was hosted at Vitem Arena in Khamononyane and concluded on Sunday. Sohofazo Malepa has the full details.
The tournament LOC chairperson Khopolan Jonas explained that everything went smoothly, noting that this year's competition was even tougher. He further revealed that they intended to continue hosting the tournament annually.
Talent, youth, women, the structure Division 1 Division 2. The player to play this tournament. Geradi team, because we had 8 teams from Division 1 and 4 teams from the stream. Then there are youth, there are women. The chairman.
This year's edition featured 4 junior teams, where Twin Stars emerged champions after defeating Matebejana by 3-1, clinching the title and prize money of 2,000 pula. In the women's side, which also had 4 competing teams, PDF ladies were crowned champions after beating Makufa ladies 2-0, taking home the trophy and 3,500 pula. The men's competition was the highlight, attracting 16 teams from Division 1 and Division 2 in knockout fixtures. Tamara Swallows were crowned champions after overcoming Mauritania Lions 2-0 in the final. The goals came from McDonald Shimanyana in the 30th minute of the first half and Kweketo Marake in the 73rd minute of the second half. Swallows had earlier beaten City Bugs 4-2 in the semi-finals. The champions walked away with a trophy and 5,600 pula.
Performance because but 3 points to take the cup, but hela ga go se go ile ha ke tshwantse gore ke digele teng wa ile gore ke tla re ha ke ntse ha tsebe ke bona sengwe se ira ka ke tshwantse gore se ira ka teng.
Portion 2 accepted go tla fana le hela go tla event ya fana la is something se le gore ka phopotha ba simane le getla ka sona.
The tournament is expected to return for its 3rd edition next year. Tsofatso Malepa, BTV Sport, Khamononyane.
Namibia-based international marathon athlete Jessica Matthews emerged victorious in the 21.1 kilometers grand race and the male category of the Nhabe International Marathon held in Maung this past Sunday. The 33-year-old champion walked away with 10,000 pula after completing the race in 1 hour, 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Marata Kaisara reports.
The Nhabe International Marathon brought together a vibrant mix of local and international athletes in Maung, with participants ranging from children to senior citizens, competing across the 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 21.1 kilometers categories. In the 21.1 kilometer senior men's category, Josiah Matthews claimed top honors, followed closely by Zimbabwe's Abel Chibanda, who finished second with a time of 1 hour, 8 minutes and 26 seconds, earning 6,000 pula. The third position went to local athlete Kagiso Kebatshwaretse, who crossed the finish line in 1 hour, 9 minutes and 21 seconds to take home 4,000 pula.
Today I ran 21 kilometers. So the race was good. I just learned my own pace, but I was helping my guys there until 13 kilometers. So I moved from there. I'm alone, learning my own pace. Yeah, the race was good. The traffic escorted me well, so I'm happy with the traffic. I didn't get lost, so I'm happy.
I'm happy because I won the race, even though I've been running throughout the season.
In the 10-kilometer female category, 15-year-old Kebafilo Motserwani clinched the first place and walked away with 3,000 pula. She was followed by Cheryl John in second place, who pocketed 2,000 pula, while Lebogang Mokaku secured third place to win 1,000 pula. I've been preparing for this race for a long time. I really wanted to win and I'm so happy I did. Race organizers deemed the competition a success despite facing logistical challenges, including a delay in the arrival of medals from China.
We did order them on time, but we had a challenge when they were supposed to arrive last week. China, and the medals could not come as we expected them. But as I speak today, they arrived but unfortunately, because now it's on a weekend holiday, they couldn't arrive on time. But on a positive note, everything went as planned.
There is growing hope that the event will continue to expand, attracting more local and international participants to showcase athletic talent and promote sport tourism. Mareta Kaisara, BTV Sport, Maung.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, make sure to celebrate these independence holidays responsibly and with peace and joy. And of course, have a good night. Now let's take a look at the headlines.
President Advocate Maboko launches 4 additional languages to broadcast on BTV and Radio Botswana. Botswana remain hopeful as they celebrate independence.
And in the sports, 2025 Champions Cup tournament, a raving success.
And that is all the news we had for you this evening of an eventful eve of the 59th of independence of this country. Weather is up next.
Good evening and welcome to today's weather forecast brought to you by Mpho Ishwara. Let's start off by looking at the rainfall amounts recorded this morning at 8 a.m. We have 22 millimeters at Khobojangu Primary School, 15 millimeters at Robelela Primary School, 3 millimeters at Chagaloba Primary School in Topisi, Godfrey's Farm in Tlokweng, Salomele Soles Farm in Maunatlala, and Sua Metro Car Station, 2 millimeters at Chobe Junior Secondary School and Kazungula Police, Also 2 millimeters at Nadi Sunnyside Farm in Lobatse and Silibe Pikwe Metro Car Station. And at Veda Metro Car Station, we recorded some drops. Now, looking at the current satellite picture, currently there are no clouds over the western parts of the country, except over the eastern parts of the country where clouds are still visible. Also, this reddish color shows some developing thunderstorms which may thunder or shower this evening. For tomorrow, cloudy conditions are expected over southern southeast Gauteng, Kwening, southern central and northeast districts. And over northern central and Chobe districts, partly cloudy conditions are expected. And over Khanzi, just a few clouds are expected to be visible. For Ngamiland and Kalahari district, clear skies are expected. Also, fresh to strong winds are expected over most parts of the country. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions. Mild temperatures are expected in the morning over Khanzi, Kalahari to southern southeast Gauteng and Kwening. Of 11 degrees Celsius expected over the southern parts of Kalahari to 15 degrees Celsius expected over Mahalab. In other parts of the country, warm temperatures are expected in the morning of 16 degrees Celsius over Letlhakane, Francetown and Silibe Pikwe to 19 degrees Celsius expected over Kasane. In the afternoon, cold temperatures are expected over southern central and northeast district, of 21 degrees Celsius expected over Silibe Pikwe and Plajan to 22 degrees Celsius expected over Mahalape and Francistown. For southern southeast Gauteng and Kwening district, mild temperatures are expected of 24 degrees Celsius over much of those areas. And over Kalahari, Khanzi and northern central district, warm temperatures are expected of 27 degrees Celsius over Veda to 31 degrees Celsius expected over Khanzi. And over the northern parts of the country, hot temperatures are expected in the afternoon of 34 degrees Celsius over Maum to 35 degrees Celsius expected over much of those areas. Now look at southern southeast Gauteng and Kwening districts for Wednesday and Thursday. Cloudy conditions are expected on Wednesday with mild afternoon temperatures, and on Thursday, clear skies are expected with warm afternoon temperatures. For Khanzi and Kalahari, on Wednesday, just a few clouds are expected to be visible with warm afternoon temperatures, and Thursday, clear skies are expected with warm afternoon temperatures. For Chobe and Ngamiland, clear skies are expected for both Wednesday and Thursday with hot afternoon temperatures. Lastly, for Central and Northeast, on Wednesday, cloudy conditions are expected with mild afternoon temperatures, while on Thursday, clear skies are expected with warm afternoon temperatures. Well, that's all I had for you tonight. Have yourself a good night.
Erragong re ka simolla hela ka gone go leba re ka simolla hela pele ka go lebelela maiteko a DBS a go tsisa dipuo tse di farologaneng mo go dikganyeng gore wena o leba mmisa le